Anyway, welcome to the first episode of ISGP Podcast. I can never say it right because the P really throws me off. But the ISG Podcast. Yes, welcome everyone. I am your self-proclaimed host, Amelia Kuchel, and I hang out with my friends tonight. In no particular order, we have Yogamoanyo and Romper. Rompy. We have CharmedSky.
Hello.
And we have Psychic Gaymer.
G'day.
And we have been tasked with speaking about the tag team tournament, which should be pretty exciting. We've got Block A, we got Block B. We finally finished round one. Kind of felt like it took a long time, but also went very, very quickly. But we saw heaps of people we've never seen before, which I think was pretty exciting. So I know I was in a tag team that I've never been in before because I was rudely taken from my other tag team.
Preach.
So yes, I was punching squirrels, rudely taken and punching squirrels because I joked about wouldn't it be funny if we did a trios. We did a trios, weirdly enough, lost, got kicked out of my tag team, and so I joined a tag team with Tootie.
It wasn't even a trios.
It wasn't even a trios.
That was the worst part.
If only there was a trios tournament coming up, wouldn't that be handy? But yeah, so with many teams that we haven't seen before. Hanley, Mickey, you were both in teams that we've never seen before.
Hello.
What did you guys think joining and coming up with a tag team?
Oh, it was so much fun. Sam is a really good partner. Like, he's so chill and he's actually quite very good at Spyro.
Surprisingly good, or did you have a bit of an idea?
I was surprised because we'd never seen him speedrun before, so I didn't know what to expect, but he was really, really good. And I can't wait to be in a team with him next year, or whenever we have another tag team again.
I know, it's so fun, all these new people, like, especially Sam, right? So coming out of nowhere and a tag team tournament is your first introduction into ISGP. Like, that in itself is pretty cool. I mean, you yourself, you popped up in Spyro Speedruns Cup in the first elimination and got knocked out first run. But, like, yeah, tag team is where they come into it, which is not the only person. I think, Mickey, this was your first ISGP.
My first anything with ISGP, yeah.
And Gareth.
I was very late to the party. Yeah, no, it was funny because I think it was like a week before the sign-ups for the tag team ended, and I remember joining finally, and they were like, "Oh, if you want to join, just jump in here and see who pops up." And Garth's original partner couldn't do it for whatever reason, and then he was like, "Oh, well, you don't have a partner, I don't have a partner. Let's just work together and do this." I'm like, okay, why not? I got nothing else to do. Let's go.
For those who unfortunately are not in the ISGP server, in order for the people that didn't have homes, essentially in the tag team tournament, we created a channel called Hot Spyro Singles in Your Area.
It was a very good name. Very good name.
Amazing.
Really keep on trend with the internet theme the ISGP community kind of holds. But I think that's essentially where you, Mickey, and Gareth came together. It's where Harley and Sam came together.
Yeah.
So many teams that came together. Are there any others that you kind of didn't expect to be put together, or any other teams you want to mention?
Actually, Gary and Al. I didn't expect that combination, but it works so well. They work so well together.
Yes,
Paisani
Gaia.
Yeah. So the great part about that too is, like, I think before World Tag League, Al really wanted to be in a tag team with Garion, and then it finally happened, and it was fucking awesome. I was like, hell yeah.
I know, it was like a dream come true for Al. It was precious, essentially. Like, it was really good how it fell together. But who else did we have? We had, essentially, we'll talk about tag teams going forward, but just in the off chance we've forgotten who everyone is, we had Block A, which ended up being the Christ Blasters, which was G4 Video 5, and we had Muddy Maestro. That is a tag team. That's a fun, unstoppable tag team.
That was a surprise to me because I had to binge watch like a bunch of old videos that I had any idea going into it, and they're two very different people, but they worked so. Can I swear on the podcast? Fuck it.
Yes, you
They
can.
worked so
I already
fucking
cussed.
well. They work so fucking well together, and I'm like, I know opposites attract, but Jesus Christ, guys, like.
Yeah, they're two people that you want like together, but you're scared of it. You're kind of like, wouldn't it be funny if they tag teamed? And then you were like, but kind of please don't tag team. And then they tag teamed, and you were like, I'm glad, but I'm gonna lose.
It's a green stop sign. We shouldn't, but I kind of want to see how this goes.
Yeah, absolutely. We've then got the Mega Monkeys / Mega Minds / Mega Monkey Minds, because you couldn't make up your mind, could you, Yoga?
Yes, it wasn't just me. It was both me and Maya. We really couldn't make up our mind. Well, we did at the way end, but then our name was put in as the Mega Monkeys, and then it was like, well, shit, what do we do now? And then now it's like just a mess.
I know. I remember seeing because I kept asking Andrew. I was like, "What's the sign up? Like, who signed up?" Like, I was super excited about it, and then I remember seeing the sign up, and I remember it being under like Mega Monkeys, and then they kept saying Monkey Minds, and I'm like, did they change? And then you're like, no, it's Monkey Mega, and I'm like, I couldn't keep up with the changes.
So to make it worse, I think we actually signed up as the Mega Minds, and then it got worse.
It just went downhill from there.
it just got progressively worse.
Changed every bloody race. Oh my god!
Literally, we have like 7 different names, even on the channel. Like, I'm no joke. Like, if you look at our races, I think we have one that says the Mega Monks, or Mega Monkeys, and we have one that says the Monkey Minds. So, like, even the titles of videos just don't know.
Oh lordy, bit split personality disorder, if you ask me. We then had Paisani de la Gaia, which was our Malloy, who should have been here, but unfortunately has not woken up. And Garian, which is Gentle Oathsworn Herodona. So that one was a good combination. I think they really complement each other very
That
nicely.
was another surprise one for sure.
Because you've got Garian, which is like, he's like good, but you underestimate how good he is sometimes.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you've got Al, which is just like good. So they're kind of like I guess that I wouldn't say like a bigger fear as like Thrash Blasters, but I'm scared of them.
Yeah,
definitely.
They're unpredictable.
It's like, why am I nervous? I'm nervous, but why am I nervous?
Do I think I'm going to win? Absolutely not. Will I have fun? Absolutely yes.
Yeah, true. That's very true.
Honestly, it's hard to not have fun with both Gary and Al, so that it's like they're great together like that too. So
also the fucking fact, and this needs to be brought up, that they literally hinder themselves with Gary mode every single time and still fucking sweep it. I'm like,
that's their shtick, and I love it.
I'm at the top of my game, and I'm getting destroyed by 2 people that are deliberately hindering themselves. Like, the fuck is this?
It takes a very special person who will then also do Garian mode. So I know I couldn't. I don't think I have that in me.
I can't.
But Al made it his mission to have one Garian mode that at least wasn't Garian's Garian mode, but he Garian mode himself. So props to Al, I reckon.
Don't forget, you can purchase your Garian mode merchandise at the ISGP shop.
I'm still waiting for mine to arrive at the time of this recording. I ordered this motherfucker like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Link is probably not going to be in the description, but if I remember, I will comment it down below. So please make sure you buy.
Yeah, if it's not in the description, the website is on like the channel. So
one of us will leave a comment.
The description, given the fact that most of the videos leading up to this has been description, goal, objective, CM Punk. So given the fact that CM Punk is finally at AEW, I'm going to say down the bottom, it's not going to say anything. It's just going to say CM Punk is here. So we've lost that. Up next, speaking of, we've got our Lord and Savior's Golden Lovers. Unfortunately, don't exist anymore. So I hope everyone enjoyed it while it lasts.
Yes. All 4 weeks of knowing who they were.
I will never understand why Angus will decide to just, without even telling Andrew, it's just like, I'm putting something on the line.
Yeah, it's a bit sus. Like, how long have you wanted out that badly that now you're just not telling him?
It's
I
really
know.
funny too. I'll mention it now just because it's just funny to me too. Is like he was like in the beginning of the race that they lost, which made them break up. He was like, I wouldn't do this if I would lose. I wouldn't do this thing if I would lose. But he already did that before. Like he made something. He said he would stop singles if he was kicked out. So he already did that. And then he just did it again.
It's kind of like, I wonder what's going to happen next. He's been kicked out of singles. He's now kicked out of trio, like tag. What's left?
Well, he's only kicked out of the team. He's only kicked out of the Golden Lovers. He could make a new team.
I think that is an interesting topic that we'll bring up later in the podcast. But next we've got BFF Gamers, which is Emily Dixon and MTB, which honestly I'm not surprised as a tag team, but I think they've come in pretty strong.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. They put
I loved watching their races because they're such a polarizing opposite to their ability to play, but they're so much fun to watch because it's not a clean sweep all the time. There's still that like tandem between them. It's so cool to watch, but they beat me, so I don't care.
Yeah. And Emily is also a very reactive person, and it's so funny to watch. It's really good.
Yeah, definitely.
It is too funny.
They are good. And yeah, it is pretty crazy to see the contrast in skill, but how well they work together still as like a tag team. Those kind of teams are always fun to watch. It's just like Muddy and G4 in a way.
Yeah, especially given the fact that they are like a new tag team, but they're not new put together. Like they're not like a Hanley and a Sam. Like they're two friends outside of ISGP. Yeah. So like they kind of know where each other are. But and then come in brand new. So that was really interesting to see as well. Two very not polar opposites, but two brand new people. We got Big Spaghetti Mamas, which I'm going to put in my vote. My favorite tag team name.
Yes.
I think it was so funny. When you guys were like Big Spaghetti Mamas, I was like, yes. Absolutely.
Literally, we were trying to figure out what the fuck to call ourselves, and then Garth was like, yo, Big Spaghetti Mamas. And I'm like, I like making fat jokes. That sounds great. Let's go. I like food and stuff.
Turns out it is an inside joke. I can't for the life of me remember what it is in referral to, but apparently it is. There is existence in a speedrun that I watched in fucking fast forward the other night trying to get information on this.
I will say though. Oh, I was just gonna say, like, in Group B, there is only one team I would say that rivals the name of that. So I think Amelia might know that team name, but
I do, and I will butcher it. We've got last but certainly not least, we've got the Slitherians.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yes,
it's not the Slitherians.
What's his deal? Honestly, what's his deal?
Because it's a mixture of Slytherin and Targaryen.
Is that what I did not know that it was Targaryen. Obviously the Slytherin, but like I just thought you were making it fun and fresh. I had no clue that it was Targaryen.
That's funny.
And we actually made a logo too, for in case the teams had logos, but it never got
Send it to me. I'll put it here.
Yes, please do it.
You absolutely should have put it in, because somebody who was editing your videos could have possibly put it in, for all you know. So
that's amazing.
Anytime you do that, just throw it out there. Be like, this is our logo.
Speaking of logos, I remember I asked Yoga to make a logo for Moral Event Horizon, and he still hasn't done it. So.
The tea.
All right. I'll get. But do you want me to still do it?
I don't know whether my tag team exists anymore. Speaking of my tag team, let's head into Block B.
Well, great tangent. Great. That was well done.
Anyway, okay. So starting at the top. There are orders to this, I'm not going to lie. It is ranking. Starting at the top, we've got Vita Cheaters, which is Charity Royale and the man, the myth, the Dan Davidson. I'm going to say they're another Crash Blaster. They're another Muddy and G4 Video 5. Like, they're two people that are good on their own. Terrifying when you put them together.
Yeah, definitely. I
They
think
also have
both of
cheaters in
them.
their name, so they're cheaters.
Very true.
I know. Should we have gone through their videos with like a fine-tooth comb? Possibly.
Probably.
Actually, I remember them saying none of them are actually playing on their PS Vitas.
They are though.
Absolutely
None of their
disgraceful.
races are on their Vitas, so
Dan has literally been like, "Nah, I can't be bothered to set it up and do all this stuff." And I'm just like,
Dan's been a
Okay.
low-key nomad. Like he's not been homeless, but he hasn't been like set up. So they've
which
not
is
been
really
playing.
funny.
Yeah, so unfortunately they didn't cheat, and that is how they've gotten up to the top of B block. But
Where they want us to think that. That's my conspiracy theory.
is it too late to start an inquiry?
I mean,
It
I
might-
remember
it might be.
I think it was like not long after the tournament had started, I messaged him because I was like, how serious are people taking this and all that? Because like Dan and Charity were the only ones really that I knew of before I joined ISGP, because like a lot of you guys joined GRA and I met a lot of you through there. So they were the only two I knew, and I messaged, I was like, how serious are people? And they're like, well, we're called the Vita cheaters. I'm like, okay, that's fucked. And he's like, yeah, but we're not dumb enough to be able to cheat and get away with it. So I was like, fair enough.
That's the thing, though, is I could probably name 3 or 4 people that I know that actually use like Vitas. I could not tell you how you could cheat on them. I could not tell you how to point it out. I couldn't tell you what the cheats are. They could have cheated. I'd have no fucking clue. I'd have no idea. But like leading on to, I guess, not cheaters, but leading on to people that are also very good. You've got Plesbos Deluxo, formerly known as Yes Lesbos. I love the name change. I'm not gonna lie. I think
I do
Plesbos
too.
Deluxo is so fun to say.
To be fair, yes, Lesbos was forced upon them, as I've been told. So
I think they originally wanted their name to be Plesbos Deluxo, so I think that's why I enjoy the fact that they've finally gotten what they want. But it's another one of those ones where you've got Wally and you've got Noel McDavid, and Wally is very good. Like you could
Wally's
literally.
scary. Wally's scary.
Noel also very good, but if Noel wanted a day off, Wally'd still win. He's that good.
Yeah.
and like
That
not
is
to
great.
undermine Noelle too is like she's still really good. Like they're second
Yeah.
in their group for a reason. It's not just Wally.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
this is a tag team. It's not just him.
It is not. No, it's,
Nah.
especially they're good enough. Like, especially I know in my race is that it was very split. Like they love a split race where it was like Wally would have to do his thing, Noel would have to do their thing, which means you could kind of split up like the goals. So not everyone was racing against Wally essentially.
But it worked
Yeah.
really well as well with that splitting the goals, because then it like I think they're the only team from me watching it all that really showed off the strengths of both of them. So like they
Mhm.
made the goal that was even for everyone, so it wasn't Wally.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a little upcoming teaser for the next round is that's probably
Ooh.
going to happen again in our race because we
Oh
my
compete
God.
against each other. So it's going to be a very similar
Already.
situation where they're both going to be playing to their strengths. So it'll be interesting.
I know, and I love the fact that Noelle is she's not back. She's always been around, but I love when Noelle is in calls and stuff like
Yes,
that. 'Cause she's
I
so fun to
love
hang
her
out
to
with.
death. Oh my
Yep, she is
god.
Absolutely.
great.
And the
She is
laugh
so
is
much
just
fun.
the best thing.
I know.
She's the
just
most
so-
adorable.
sweet. I love
Ah.
it all.
The thing that I love about her is like she does not take anything weirdly or anything. She just flows and just goes with everything, and it is
Not
just
a
she's just
single fuck.
perfect.
Not a
Yeah,
single
it-
fuck.
A
it's so much
shameless
fun.
Noelle plug. If you are on Facebook, make sure that you like the Facebook page Artisan McStinky after her cat. You've got to like it because Artisan is like the cutest cat ever. So make sure you do that. Tell
Oh.
Noelle I sent you. Up next we've got our fallen soldier, and by that I mean Danta was joining us, but unfortunately he had to leave before we started calling.
I miss you, Danta.
Make
we
you
have
rest in pieces.
skateboards and soda, which is another one that was kind of like two random people that have just become a tag team.
Definitely.
And like they're both good. Like if you got Skater in a Spyro 1 race, Done.
Bye.
You're done.
Yeah, it's one of the they're one of those teams too that they're like, I feel like they're overall balanced really well in all games too. Like
Mhm.
Dance is really balanced in all games, and while skater, I almost said skateboard. While he is better, like best in Spyro 1, he's nothing to scoff at in Spyro 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
they're like a
definitely.
great balanced team. So they're very fun to watch because they're super balanced.
Absolutely. I can't relate. I hate Spyro 1 so much.
Apparently that's most people.
And that's exactly, Harley, why the fucking golden lovers tried versing the parallel powers of Spyro 1, because they knew we fucking hated it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's okay. We're also bad at it. But like, we're really bad at it. So.
I'd like to see the scores on that one.
I wanted to make it fair for our race because we done Spyro 1 as well. Like Slitherians and Big Sweaty. I wanted to try and make it as fair as possible.
Yeah.
Because I thought that like out of all of the teams in our block, we were like bottom of the barrel. So I was like, we'll try and make it really fair. It'll be a really fun one. And I was like, oh, we'll do Spyro 1. And they agreed the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, we can do this. We'll agree the whole time. I was like,
they're very nice people.
I have never felt so bad doing a race.
No. Like, it was funny because I actually had COVID during that race as well. So I was sick.
Shit.
I was so loopy.
Could you have made my life any worse?
I'm going. I'm out. Fuck
you
the
made her
next
play her
ISGP. I'm not doing
favorite.
it.
You made her play her least favorite Spyro game, and then
What
you gave
was
her
he saying?
COVID.
Oh my god.
Oh, no, but really, it was fun. I had a good time. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think Harley's one of like a handful of people in the ISGP server that we can actively say had COVID.
I
Her
had
and
it like
Dan.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dan got it. I think Nick got it. I think
Nick got it. Dan
yeah.
got it.
Gareth ended up getting it. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
so many
Jeez.
people ended up having it.
Yeah.
After skateboards and soda, we had Final Egg, which another mismatch one. That was Dr. Crusher and Bobble Dink. So that was like a fun and fresh. Never seen them before. They popped up in the Hot Spyro singles in your area.
You're so proud of that.
I think it's so funny. Because that's how easy it is to get things in ISGP apparently is, and we have a Hot Spyro.
It was active.
Yeah, it was.
It was really
very
active.
It was active for as long as it needed to be, and weirdly enough, it's still
Died.
up. it's still not like a channel that exists.
I don't
my
think we
God.
can see it anymore, but that just means the hosts are slacking because I don't think we can see it anymore.
Oh no.
I just noticed it's still there.
So yeah, we have Bubble Dink, we have Dr. Crusher. So we've seen both of them before. They were both in ISGP 2, but they'd never tag teamed before. So I think that another fun combination of kind of two newer people joining together to kind of crush it a little bit.
Were they
I like that,
ISGP
were they?
too?
I think
no.
Spyro
I think it
Speedruns
was
Cup.
Spyro Speedruns Cup.
Spyro
Yeah.
Speedruns Cup. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's what
there.
I was thinking because that was like one of the more interesting teams to set up because they're
Mhm.
like two people that it was like the very last tournament that happened, and then not many people know them, and they like tag team together, and so they're like probably the least known because like that was I don't know I just thought that was really cool because there was just like two people that just started doing tournaments and then they just came together and immediately did something.
They kind of were at the level of, because it's Spyro Speedruns Cup, you kind of could see their skill, like you could kind of get a grasp, but you really have no idea what you're in for because they weren't really able to kind of show, I guess, how good they were. They kind of only had the handful of Spyro Speedrun Cups runs, but then they came up, they fucking smashed Moral Event Horizon, which will sadly come up next. So they did quite well. They were just shy of making it through to the next round. But they did very, very well.
To be fair, B Block as a whole was very like contested, I feel like, compared to I mean A Block at the way end got very contested. But like B Block I feel like was contested the entire time, except for like Vita cheaters who were top essentially. So
he was messy.
Yeah,
she was messy in the best way.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Mickey?
No, oh, sorry. I was gonna actually disagree. I thought the B block was the complete cleanup. You knew who was going to be the top 3, and you knew who wasn't going to go through from the start. As soon as I saw who was in the teams and what teams there were, I was like, oh, okay, this one, done. All right, cool. Don't have to worry about B block. A block's next.
You're the only person I've heard that.
Disagree slightly, and the only reason I disagree is because I'll explain further down the track. But no, because I haven't got to them
exactly
yet.
what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
Next is Moral Event Horizon, which is me and Toonie SA, because I was ripped from my other tag team.
So this, for the record, is the other team that I think is the second best name, or Matt's Big Spaghetti Mamas, just because the name is so dumb.
It is dumb. But when you shorten it down, it's just meh.
That's what makes it even better, though.
Meh.
Just like their gameplay. Meh.
Whoa.
And honestly, in terms of me and Toonie, what do we think about doing well? Meh.
Meh.
Meh. I mean, given
Especially
the fact,
Toonie.
yeah, Toonie, love him. Just he's one of those ones that he can be good. I don't know if he hates me because he.
Guys, that was so. It was really funny to me, because when I heard you guys were a team, I was like, that's a pretty good team.
Where'd you go, Mickey? Up.
It's okay. I'm here.
It was so funny.
Everything.
You basically took me right now.
It was so funny though, because when I heard you two were a team, I was like, "That's a pretty strong team." And then Andrew came in a call and was like, "Oh yeah, their first race happened. It was awful. Toonie didn't care."
He didn't, and I thought, because our first race was with Plesbo's Deluxe, and I thought we were gonna try and go in strong. Turns out I was the only one that thought that.
On both
At least he
teams.
wasn't drunk, right?
I thought that we were going to get drunk one time. We never did, because apparently, despite the fact that we went in with a time and a date, he did not prepare. He did not get the alcohol ready. None of the times we were drunk. And as you can see, I would be down to. I'd be fucking down to have a good drink. But no, that was a funny mismatch one. It was backstory, I guess, bit of lore. When it came to breaking up punching squirrels, I joked about, wouldn't it be funny if we did a triple threat, whoever loses is out. I knew that I was going to be out, so I was like, haha, what a joke. I don't want to do it because I know I'll be out. Surprise, it happened. I was out. I was like,
goddamn hosts.
I know. I was like, who could I possibly race with? Luckily, hot single Spyros in our area existed. But I was like rattling, I was like, wouldn't it be so funny if I tag team with Liam?
Oh, that
Turns
would be
out he
cool.
doesn't exist anymore. So good thing I didn't go ahead with that. But no, so event up, I messaged Toonie. I was like, there is like a very good chance I'm about to be kicked out of my tag team. If I am, do you want to tag? And he was like, let me know. And I was like, it's happening. Like, I'm out. Yeah, he was like, couldn't fucking care less. No, it was very good until our timely end of his controller breaking, and I unfortunately had to end up going solo. And not only solo, but blind.
The best fucking
so
race on
good.
the channel.
Oh,
Hands down.
It would have been the best race if I wasn't such a dumb bitch and knew how to record my own audio.
It was funny because you were just silent the entire time, but you could see like emoting and like making noises.
I mean, to be fair, the only things I was saying was, I'm blind, because he would be like, just walk forward until you get to the end. I'm like, where's the end? I don't know. I'm blind. We'll come back to me. But anyway, next up we've got Team Randall, which is the iconic team of James Jones and Fromond. May they rest in peace.
The legends.
Yeah.
Legends.
So unfortunate that they couldn't do like proper races, especially because when James Jones is like, he's in the zone, he's like, so weirdly good. Like you just don't expect it, because like if you see some of his like fun, like the Spyro Speedruns Cup where he's like one frame per 10 seconds, like footage, or like that, like it took like 2.5 hours to do like a super simple goal. So you're like, oh, he's not that good, and then like he does like a Solution X, and he does like a really good job, and you're like, okay, what the heck?
Yeah.
And then I know Fraser, he has his moments too of being very good. Like it's kind of like on and off in a way. Sometimes he's good at Spyro, sometimes he's not good at Spyro.
Sometimes he's lost the pinky, sometimes he hasn't lost the pinky.
Yeah. So it's a little weird. We just don't get it. But yeah, no, like I was actually really upset that we didn't get to see more of them. I know there was like a lot of like real life conflicts that were going away in terms of time, but it sucks because I would have loved to see them more, especially because they're a lot of fun to just like have in voice calls, and just listen to them talk. So
definitely,
James Jones has to be my all-time favorite Enigma, and by Enigma I mean you've got James Jones versus Mayo Doctor, where it was a 2.5-hour PowerPoint presentation because his footage was that bad, and then you've got James Jones versus Liam TBH, where he won and apologized for it.
You've got sorry, but I won.
There's no in between with James Jones, and I love it.
He's great. I love
Praise
him.
be to the legend of James Jones.
He's so good.
I don't know how we could ever move on from Team Randall, but we do have the last but not least, we have the Celtic lads.
Hey.
Not
You
Celtic,
wanted to
lads.
say it wrong so bad, and I know you did.
I have it as a K in my notes, so I won't say it wrong. Thank you very much. We've got the Celtic lads, which were able to do a couple of runs. Unfortunately, due to personal matters, they did have to drop out. So as of, I guess, respect to those runners, we won't dwell too much on it. We will say of those two races, like the couple of races they did, they were very good races.
They were awesome to watch.
Yeah, like in terms of the fighting teams to be in the top 3, I figured they would be in the top 3. Like they were very good.
They were going to be
and very fun to watch.
They were in my top 3 as well. As soon as I saw it.
That's exactly why, Mickey, I think you're wrong in terms of saying it was complete war. Because if they were continuing through, I reckon they would have been the spanner in the works. I don't know whether they would have gotten top 3, but they would have definitely made it a challenge.
See, my original, the top 3 that I had original was obviously Beta Cheaters, duh. Plesbos, duh. And then I would have had Celtic lads. Because I was just like, I've watched like some of their videos in the past and some of the stuff they've done and all that, and I was like, yeah, no, they're really good. I didn't know Skater, I didn't know Dancer and all that beforehand. Like they were my top 3. As soon as they were like, oh, we can't do it anymore, I was like, fuck, there goes my predictions.
Good thing I didn't put legitimate money on this.
Goddamn crystal ball.
But I don't want to dwell on them obviously too much because they, again, out of respect, because they unfortunately had to drop. But I do want to say they did beat Plesbos Deluxe, which are second.
Yes,
that is something I feel that's important to mention. So
it's amazing to watch that race.
I guess going on what Mickey just said. So you just said what you thought your top 3 predictions for B block would have been. Mm. Who were your top 3 predictions for A block?
Honestly, I didn't really know a lot of the people in A block, so I was kind of just like going off of what other people were saying. But I did know of Muddy Maestro beforehand because I'd watched his videos before, so I knew he was a fucking shoo-in. Honestly, the rest were like, who knows? I thought that the host would go through by default because they'd somehow managed to shenagle their own way through because they're the hosts. If you get knocked out in the first round, that's kind of sad.
Especially because they had the tag team title at the time.
Yeah. Marcus, I'd actually done a couple of videos on GRA with Marcus a couple of times beforehand, so I knew how good he was. And then, honestly, I feel like I would have just thrown Al in there because I had no idea who this fuck was, so... I was like, I don't know these people, but I know Al. So...
I like Hodley. Hodley's heart just, like, sank. She was like...
I know, given the fact that, like, I don't think you're in the same position on your screen as you are to mine. You were pointing to fucking no one.
Yeah, I was so confused. Like, me?
Because on my end, you were pointing
I
to
keep
her.
forgetting about that. I would just start pointing because I'm like, oh yeah, we're all in the same position.
You're like,
this.
fuck that bitch. That one specifically.
That is very rude, Amelia. How dare you? I thought you were my ex-partner.
I mean, I am your ex-partner, unfortunately.
We'll just have to, we'll have to figure something
Okay,
out
we need to move on. We're about to call the domestic. Let's go.
Absolutely. Anyway, Hanley, what did you think Group A and Group B going into the semifinals was going to look like?
I honestly had no idea because I was so busy with like university stuff at the time. So I was
And
just like,
COVID.
okay, yeah, and
And
COVID. That too. I was just trying not to die, you know. But
Praise be, she's still here.
okay, I'm sorry.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, my drink is done, sadly.
Oh, fuck.
Yes.
I just
But
nearly
I
spat my drink out then.
I had higher expectations for Golden Lovers as well, but you know, I guess I was disappointed. But
Oh, why does that feel more sad coming from Harley than it is from me?
Because the way she said it, I was like, damn, now I feel even worse.
But yeah, I definitely expected that the Mega Monkeys would do good. Like when I went in with Sam against them. Like, wait, what is your name? Is it Mega Minds and Mega Monkeys? What should I call you?
The monkey minds, you could just call us whatever though at this point. Who cares?
Full of monkeys.
But when we
Just
went
call us
against
monkeys.
when we went in the race against the monkey minds, the monkey
It works.
minds, I told Sam like we probably won't win, but let's just try our best. We don't know what would happen, and who knew? Like surprise, surprise, you did win.
Who would have thunk?
Who'd
Yeah.
have thought it?
And, you know, on the bright side, we did get to do our monkey cry at the end.
Yeah,
And
that was-
everybody was
yeah.
confused. Everyone was confused every single time.
I have that on my highlights. Let's leave that for a little bit. Yoga, what did you think was going to be top A of like top of A block, top of B block?
So for top of A, because everyone's been doing at least top of A right now. Because Hanley didn't do her top of B, unless you want to roll back.
I'm going to assume she didn't watch B.
well,
She didn't have time. She had COVID. I'll let her slide.
Deluxe. I definitely thought Players vs. Deluxe would do very well. That's because I didn't want to put too high expectations because I knew like in speedrunning anything can happen. But I definitely thought like Players vs. Deluxe would do really well.
Mm-hmm.
The end. Okay, you can move on.
back to you, Yoga.
Are you happy,
All right.
Yoga? I gave my thoughts.
Yes, because I was like, she was like, you know, what'd you think about Group A and B? And I'm like, well, Hanley didn't get to say
This is the
anything
first
about
time
it.
you've been polite, and now I wish that you would tell me the top three for Block A and Block B.
So basically, the A block came out how I expected, except for the third place, because I thought the Golden Lovers would be third place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very glad, given the match of Paisani D. Ligaya versus them, given the outcome. So it makes me happy that they won, but I still thought the Golden Lovers would be third. And then as for B block, I'm pretty sure it's like the same exact thing, except I thought, obviously, well, at the beginning, I thought Celtic Lads would be third. But then after that, I thought Skateboards and Sodas would be it, and they ended up being it. So, but it was kind of a toss-up still, because I also thought Final Egg maybe could do it. What do you think, Romper? How about you?
Oh, Rompy.
Oh, he's like looking at you.
He's like, I'd rather not. I'm not gonna lie, I thought the exact same. I think A block, Cross Blasters and Mega Monkey Minds / Mega Monk / Monkey Minds, I knew that they were always going to head and head. I'd never put down on paper who I thought would win, because you couldn't. It'd have to go down to the race as to who would actually end up on top. So the fact that the Cross Blasters ended up on top, I'm not surprised. But at the same time, if Mega Monkeys ended up on top, I wouldn't be surprised. Paisani Della Gaia, it's one of those things that I knew that Al would be good enough, and Garion can just pull skill from nowhere. So I had a feeling that they would kind of tussle between third and fourth. So I'm also not surprised that it ended up being a head-to-head for first and second and
With
third
boys.
and fourth. And I think that's more exciting. I think the fact that there is a fight to who is actually going to end up third and in and fourth and out, I think that's a bit more exciting than it being black and white.
Also, just real quick too, not to knock on the teams that I didn't put in the top. Most of it comes me not really knowing the potential of the teams at the time when thinking of like predictions.
Yeah.
So it's just something I want to like say because like I had no idea how good Sam would be with Hanley.
No.
I had literally no idea how Psychic Gaymer would be with Gareth because it's literally the first time. It's not birth time. So geez, it was their first time in a tournament.
Tag team popped our cherries. Let's go.
I swear it wasn't a fat joke. But but yes, but to not to knock on the teams that are lower, it's just like I just didn't know what to expect. Sort of thing. So
I know.
I don't want anyone to be upset. Is all.
I think it's kind of that. Like you can kind of see you've got G4 Video 5, Muddy Maestro, kind of been around forever. Same with Mayo and then Yoga, like been around forever. Mayo, AWOL for a little bit, come back, still that level that he kind of left with.
Still
and
AWOL.
then you've got Al, and then you've got Garion who kind of grinds in silent, comes in, smashes things. Mm-hmm. But I think that's exactly what we're going to get a couple of tournaments down the track. You've got BFF gamers. I think they're going to come back and they're probably going to smash it because they're friends in real life. Like they're going to kind of practice grind. And I think exactly the same with Hanley and Sam. Like I think Hanley already good because this is like your third tournament, fourth tournament-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam, very first. Obviously getting the swing of it. Once he gets the swing of it, I reckon it's going to be awesome. So dynamic duo, and same with Big Spaghetti Mamas. You can see that they're fresh, and I think that shows. But I think that's going to be detriment down the track because you're going to get into the swing of it. You're going to get good, and you're going to become scary to me because I'm very bad. And you're going to kick my ass further down the track.
I'm not even going to lie. I was too strategic because I'd come up with a lot of the goals for the races for Big Spaghetti Mama. And I remember watching a lot of videos and seeing where they were and where they were bad. And I deliberately, with Monkey Minds, Crass Blasters, and the Golden Lovers, I deliberately tried to screw you three over with the goal to favor us. And then
how did that work out for you?
Not good. We won a single match against Slitherians. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction.
For me, you are.
You are to me. He's like.
But I deliberately, I couldn't go into a tournament and not try to strategically win because I'm not a physical person. I'm always going to use my brain. And I tried to screw over as many people as I can. But Slitherians, I loved them too. You two as a team, I loved you two as a team so much. I'm I want to make it fair. I want to make it cool. That was the only one that we won. And it was the complete opposite that I wanted.
So yeah, that ended up being Group A block, Group B block. I think pretty much everyone fell where they kind of were gonna fall. There's been no real big shockers, but I think further down the track when everyone kind of gel, especially the new groups, I love the fact that there are new groups. I think once they get a chance to kind of really see their pros, their cons, what Spyro they're good at, what Spyro they're bad at, meet in the middle. I think honestly, just every team that has been just brand new is going to smash it further down the track. So I'm so excited to see where they end up future tag team tournaments, unless obviously the hosts get upset about this tag team and we never have a tag team ever again. But I think we'll probably I'm too scared to check how long that we've been going for, so I'm going to
over an hour. I'm pretty sure I think we're getting close to it.
It's getting
I'm
to
the
that
captain
point
now. So let's finish on favorite moments. Anyone have a favorite moment they want to start off with on any of the races? Anything that kind of stands out?
I'll go first, unless
okay.
I think we've all got one in particular that we want to talk about.
So for me, it's definitely Paisani Dilagaya versus Golden Lovers, specifically Ray. Is this everyone's?
It's mine.
Let's be honest, that was an incredible race.
Specifically after Andrew Crystal Fisher was like, "All right, I'm done. I finished." And then then Garion had 2.5 minutes, I think, or a minute and a half or whatever to finish up to win, and he just like decided, okay, this is time to haul ass, and that's exactly what he did. And he started doing the sliding with Agent 9 and all that crazy stuff. And
can you do that again, Hanley?
Agent 9.
It was great. It was great too, because like I was talking to them afterwards, and I was because me, Al, and G4, we did like a watch together of it because G4 didn't see it because he wasn't there, and it was just like Garion didn't pull out the strats until he was literally like, okay, I finished. It's time for me to go. And so it's time for you to go. Yeah, and then he literally like his fight or flight kicked in, and he just like snapped, just turned on and just went for it. And look at Andrew was going insane. He was like, what is this? What is going on? Literally. What is he even doing?
But like the thing that also makes it even better is like it was literally, I think it was like 5 or 10 minutes in, Golden Lovers had done something, and immediately Garion was defeated. He knew, he was like, "Nah, I'm not going to win it. I can't do this." The whole time he was so defeated and upset. And then we got to the end, and everyone's like, "The fuck is going on?"
That was so good.
Easily, like the top moment. Like I can't think of any other moment offhand that's just like that tops that in terms of the tournament, because that was just like especially because Garion won it for them just by hauling ass the way he did, by using these strats that he was not even doing beforehand, which he could have done, but he was playing safe. And then he was like, okay, I can't play safe anymore if I want to win this. And he didn't play safe, and he fucking won it for him.
Was that a secret Garion mode? I guess we'll never know.
I think he said specifically because he was cactus, as he said in the because he like just woke up. So he decided he wasn't going to do any Garion modes that race. That was like the only time I've ever heard him say, "I'm not doing a Garion mode." But it was crazy. Definitely, to me, the top thing of the entire round one. I can't think of anything else personally that tops that.
The Hanley, has he taken your favorite moment?
Did. That was like watching it, because I was watching it while I was doing my makeup, I think like yesterday, and I just saw him like doing this weird thing with Agent. I was like, "What is going on?" And he's like pushing it, and like everybody's just cheering in the car. Like I was like screaming. It was so wonderful.
Even Al was like, yes,
yeah.
And to like to add on to that, like Angus was like, oh no, we've won or whatever. And then Andrew's like, are you even looking at his stream? And he's like, no, I'm not gonna look at the stream. Like, I refuse. We got this.
But if I have to say like a different thing, I just like the entire blindfold race. It was so amusing to watch, because the thing is, like, when it was skateboards and soda, Skater would say, okay, go left, and then you just go left like once. When Toonie tells Amelia to go left, she like just keeps going.
Amelia, you had so apparently there was like a 1 second delay according to Toonie, but it was still funny, because like he'd be like, okay, move left, and then Amelia would like press left, and then she would just start moving in like a random direction, and it was just like, Toonie didn't tell you
I was using the analog stick, right? And then he kept telling me I was going too fast. So then I started using like the D-pad, and then he was like, go left, no more left, no more left. Keep going left. And I was like, okay, I'll go back to D-pad. And then he's like, down! Like he just like, and then he'd be like, jump back up, and I'm like, what is back up? Like, it was just absolute mayhem. Like if anyone ever goes, should I do a blindfold race? The answer is yes. Yes, you should. Yes. It is so much fun, to the point where I'm like, me and Toonie have to tag team again, because Toonie needs to know how that feels.
I will say
fun that we have a blind ISGP tournament, like with the teams that we have now. Just petition is like a little fun thing in between like the big tournament. With the teams we have now, petition that, because that looks like it is an absolute fucking riot.
I know firsthand what it's like to be the person telling somebody who is blindfolded, because me and Mayo in offshoot videos, I literally had to do the exact same thing. So I know what it's like, at least not for the person playing, but for the person having to give instructions.
I can tell you it's fucked. Actually, no, it was so much fun. I really wish my audio wasn't fucking gone.
Oh my god!
Honestly, that made it a little better though, because you were just
honestly, because no one had to listen to me. Mickey, what was your favorite?
I actually had a couple, but like the race between the Slitherians and the Golden Lovers with I think it was you two that had the bingo board and that was super sick to watch, because it was so close the whole time, and that was amazing to watch, because like I was doing my own thing, and every time I'd click back and watch the progress and that, and I'm like, oh hey, Slitherians are in front, that's cool, and then I'd like click off and come back in 5 minutes later, I'm like, now the Golden Lovers are in front, and I just kept on having to go back and forwards. I'm like, what is going on? That was a really good race to watch, and then Plesbo's Deluxo versus the Vita Cheaters will always, like, just watching two A-game teams go up against each other was fucking insane to watch that. But I still, for my first tournament, the first race that Garth and I did, that Andrew and Angus were like, we're putting the championship title on the match, and we nearly got it, because they didn't follow the fucking rules. There is the moment, like 5 minutes before, I'm like, Garth, go, just fucking go, just go, Garth. And they're like, what's going on? I'm like, they didn't fucking do it, just go.
I'm not gonna lie, that was on my list as well. I've got a couple of favorite moments. The fact that Golden Lovers were like, our title shots are on the line.
Yeah, we can do this.
And like the very first Golden Lovers match, I think it was, and Big Spaghetti Mamas, and it was so, to the point where I was kind of sitting there being like, they're not following the rules. Like that, like they're generally not following. I'm like, they're gonna fucking lose. And then when they the moment they realized, you could see something switch. It was the Garian of realizing that it was 89 times.
But then
like
it wasn't even that. Like as soon as they figured it out, I think Angus went to do a thing, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go do this," and Fisher's like, "No, you can't do that one. I've already got that one." And then Fisher was going to do something else, and Angus was like, "No, I already did that one." I'm like, God.
It was absolute shambles. So that was on my top. I think my second top was the fact, like the first Golden Lovers, Mega Monkey Minds, whatever they are, because at the very end it was like, "Hey Mayo, do you know what time it is?" And then all you can hear is,
that was so weird.
I think that was the first match too that we did it. So I didn't tell Mayo this, for the record. I literally just did it on the spot. I knew that he would join, so I was just like, you know what this means?
Oh my!
He started joining in, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, maybe, because all you can hear is, what are they doing? What is happening? What is it? And it's obvious. Mega Monkey Mind.
Everyone was so fucking confused. I was like, what is going on?
Angus took like a solid minute to be like, oh, I get it now. Because I literally think Andrew was like, oh yeah, they're the Mega Monkey Minds. And then he was like, oh yeah.
He was so late to the party.
And then we at that point made it like our little Warcraft. We didn't tell anyone. It was just we won. We were doing it.
That was funny.
Like my last one is, I'm not gonna lie, Moral Event Horizon versus Team Randall, because that was just like anytime James Jones is involved, and it was just full of a call of people that knew the situation, because someone would ask James Jones a question, and there was just silence. We knew to wait for James Jones to answer, because we knew it would be gold. And there was one specific point where I can't remember what was asked, but they were like, oh, James Jones, what do you think of this? And he was like, oh, yeah. Oh, fuck! And he was like, oh, sorry.
That is the most James Jones thing.
The visceral reaction of his voice when he does it too.
But then everyone was silent. We were like, what do you think, James Jones? And we were like, and then he was like, oh, fuck. Like, it was just so alarming that I started like tearing up. Like, I could not, and it was too funny. So anytime James Jones is involved is a top fucking moment for me.
That's gold.
It really is. I don't think there's been like a single race that he's been in that has something
That isn't entertaining.
great
Yeah.
in it.
Fun gimmick.
I know.
It's so fun.
It's not intended to. Like it's never like something that's planned. It just happens.
Natural born talent that James Jones has. I love it. It's so good. But I think if we go any further, we may get in trouble for how long this has gone on for. So
Fuck him. This is amazing. This is the best video they will ever see.
So
Prediction of finals.
we might have to wrap up here. But if you have made it this far, one, I want you to comment what you liked. Comment what you want us to talk about next time. It might not be the same people, but it may be a couple more. Tell me who you want in it. Be nice or I will cry. Straight up, if you're rude, I'm gonna cry. Tell us, do you like webcams? Do you hate seeing us? Be nice again. But honestly,
romper cam.
Don't tease me with a good time. But no, tell us what you like, tell us what you didn't like, tell us who you want on next, what you want us to talk about, because I'm hoping this isn't a one-time hit.
Oh, we'll be back. We'll be back.
Don't cancel us.
We'll see.
We work too well together.
Also,
Wait, do
I've
something to
edited
cancel us while we still can.
I've edited this video, so please tell me I'm good at editing, and then if Angus ever gives me shit for not editing ever again, bring this moment up.
Which is hilarious.
Oh, that's amazing.
If you've made it this far in the video too, put in the secret comment of I don't know, somebody think of a word, I can't think of it.
No, the secret comment is comment down below what happens after this video ends.
That
Tell us what happens. But if you made it this far, once again, thanks for watching, and we do hope that you have enjoyed it. And we'll hopefully, as long as we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Thank you all for watching.
Bye.
Goodbye. It was a lot of fun. Romper says bye. He's
Bye,
like,
Rumpy.